Welcome to Liverpool Connection Podcast. Yeah, I don't know where to start. We've just finished watching Tottenham 2, Liverpool 1. There's so much to get into with this game. And the game is just finished. I'm still trying to
process, if you will.
Process, understand some of the shocking decisions that seems to go on and on and on. And Liverpool played well overall. Liverpool did a really good job in that game, but the shocking, continuous decisions that are blatantly wrong are, I don't know where to start. Mike, speak.
At the end of the day, really, you just got to look at it, besides laughing about it at some point, because, it's laughable what we just witnessed. But it took a team of, that are now second to beat a team that were down 2 men with an own goal in the last minute to win. That's how you got to look at it. So, Spurs, they should have done better, and that's, it took an own goal in the last minute to beat a 9-man team.
It did. Yeah. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Exactly. So let's look at
Ipswich for you right there.
So let's look at that, the Curtis Jones red card, right? Let's go through these decisions, okay? Now, I know that 5-10 years ago, that's not a red card, right? Maybe a yellow, and in normal time, you look at it, and you can see he's going for the ball, you can see he goes slightly over the ball, gets it, and then he catches the player's foot.
The momentum of the ball helps his foot into his chin,
his chin.
Shin. That's what I said. I didn't say chin.
Your shin.
I didn't say chin. Fuck off.
But of course, like with anything, when you slow it down and then you freeze frame it, right?
And
it looks like a terrible
on the VAR monitor, it was freeze framed right when his foot was at impact. So of course it's going to look like a
And
red.
I get it. It's going to be given as a red card now. Is that wrong? 100% it is. But that's the game that's slowly being destroyed. That's what we're working
by
with
VAR,
at the moment, right?
Yeah. VAR is an absolute joke in England.
We have that happening, and
you've got the Jota first yellow card where Doogie Howser trips on his own foot.
Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser trips on his own foot.
Yeah, the first yellow was harsh.
Yeah,
was harsh.
I understand that the second yellow, which should have been his first yellow, that was frustration on Jota's part.
100%.
So it was a deserved yellow, but I don't think the first yellow was just absolutely diabolical and shambolic and laughable.
So the Diaz offside, right? You look at it in normal time, right? Of course.
You could see in normal time he was a yard onside,
right? But now, because the game is so fucked up, I know, and others know, and millions know watching the game, you can't really celebrate because you're waiting just in case something happens. And then it goes to VAR, and then you're thinking, okay, maybe it's the shoulder, of that's happened, which is why, but
they didn't even.
And then it's given as offside. Okay, let's see the
lines. Let's see the lines.
And they don't even show.
They don't even draw the lines. You could clearly see by the still that Diaz was behind his foot, and it should have been onside.
And he looked well onside. We finally were able to see the lines, not via the television broadcast, by the way.
Yeah,
we were able to find a screenshot.
We found
of it
screenshots on the web. Yes,
whichever broadcast showed that, and it's well onside. And I do not understand, with this technology, with multiple screens, how someone in their little hut, right, is looking at this like Batman, fucking monitoring everything, and cannot take a minute, 2 minutes to blatantly see that he is onside.
You've got the technology.
Where is this gap?
They have the technology to draw. They've used it before. I don't know how many times. They have the technology to draw the lines. Why didn't they draw the lines?
It's a complete
mind-boggling
catastrophe of a decision again, and that's probably going to be the main story that comes out of this game, I would suspect.
Well, look at what we are talking about: VAR and the referees in a game that should have been talking about two very good teams playing each other, and a 2-2 draw would have been, I would have been okay with that if the Diaz goal would have stood. I feel really bad for Matip for the own goal. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances. The ball went off his foot wrong, and it went to the back of the net. You can't do anything like that. But
very, and we're all over the place for the timeline for this game.
Yep. Sorry,
but that's the game. Okay, because that's
the game.
We're recording this right after the game, and we have thoughts.
Right.
That
we haven't fully processed this game yet, so.
And it's a big cloud over what was. I think from the first minute, I thought we put in a good performance. We went toe to toe. I mean, we had with Tottenham.
Yep.
I thought we had the better chances as well.
Yep.
And
I thought Gakpo did well until he got hurt. He had a great goal.
So,
yeah.
It's just it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this just as a Liverpool fan. I'm sure fans of other teams. They have the same opinions about what happened to them as well.
I've seen it in other games.
The same thing.
It's the same thing every week.
Horribly wrong with it.
Something happens where we're talking about VAR,
and
we're not talking about the match. And it has to change. You said before the match, watching the League Cup earlier this week was brilliant because there was no VAR, and I completely 100% agree with you.
It was so refreshing. That
Yes.
it almost feels like at the moment with the League Cup used to be the tournament. You're like, now it's probably the most.
Now it was
true to football,
right?
Exciting.
The point was brought up that if there was no VAR in this game, the Diaz goal would have been offside anyway because the referee did raise his flag. So, you've got that side of the argument.
And the referees, the linesmen, I mean, they're in a hard place, right?
Yeah.
And yes, we know they have to do a better job, but now there is so much pressure on them. You've got the technology working in the background, and there's obviously a disconnect, which is happening there, and it's a complete shambles at the moment.
What do you do when half of the stadium is calling you a fat bald, C word? I don't know if I can say that word. I don't know.
I don't know why anyone would want to be a referee.
2 minutes later, the other half of the stadium is calling you the same thing. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You got to have thick skin.
But let's talk about some of the good. Gakpo, what a finish that was, because that is not an easy, not an easy chance to take, and his turn on that, and he had hurt himself a little bit just before that, and then of course when he swiveled, scored the goal,
he aggravated it even more,
but a great finish for that goal.
I hope he's okay.
What about the Tottenham first goal? It feels like an age ago now that I completely forgotten it, to be honest, because of all of this referee shenanigans.
Filed it away because of all the VAR and referee stuff.
Yeah.
It was onside on the was that Richarlison that had the assist?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
It's a very punchable face. And stupid neck tattoos. What the hell is up with that?
I think Gomez overall, I thought had a really good game.
I thought he was really great.
He could have done better for that first Tottenham goal, definitely. Yeah. But Gomez again looked really good early on, and especially the inverted position, looked really comfortable with it. And then I thought as the game went on, he did really well. So impressive Gomez. I thought he was one of our better players.
This season, he's looked completely comfortable back there. He hasn't had many, if any, moments where he looks like he's lost. Like he's completely comfortable. He's played really well. He's filled Trent's role admirably, even though he's definitely a different type of player than Trent. It was good to see Trent back on the pitch, but I thought Joe Gomez has been he's been a very good player for us this year.
And it talks to the performance of us. I thought the majority did really well today. I thought they certainly put in a shift.
Yeah.
Even 11 men.
Especially when it went down to 9. They
and then a
really,
10 men, and then a 9 men.
Yeah.
I thought we did well. I thought Szoboszlai struggled a little bit.
He did.
Like early on in the game. And then I thought when we went down to 9 men, he looked really good.
Yeah.
He was someone who was able to hold the ball up, bring other players into the game. I thought Szoboszlai looked good. Struggled a little bit before then.
Yeah.
McAllister, I thought, had a good game.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games that's going to be... It's going to be about the referees. It's going to be about the decisions. That's what it's going to be remembered for. It's You know, it's early in the season.
It's early in the season, so there. You know, City lost today. We could have, you know, made some progress. You know, getting above them, but it's still a logjam at the top of the table. You know, again, like I said, if I'm Spurs, I shouldn't be celebrating that victory too much because you barely beat a 9-man team on a last-minute own goal. That's all I'm going to say.
Spurs, of course, they'll be disappointed. I mean, there's a couple of, I think, I didn't see the game, but apparently Tottenham were much better than Arsenal last weekend. We're disappointing not to get the 3 points.
Either, yeah.
And today, they're definitely going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to beat 9 men at home, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they'll choke that up. We'll come away being, of course, ultra disappointed after doing so well with 9 men and then a freak own goal by Matip.
Right.
And all you can do is forget about it, move on.
Yeah.
The concern is what, 4 red cards in what, 8 games? So that is something that.
Well, one of them was overturned. The McAllister red
one
was overturned.
Was.
I hope that they look at the Jota red card because, like I said, that first yellow shouldn't have been a yellow. The guy tripped on his own foot.
I don't think they can overturn that because it's the 2 yellows.
I wish.
They could the other one for Jones because it was a straight red.
That's not going to get overturned.
But I don't
think that's going to get overturned.
Extremely surprised if it happens.
I don't even think they're going to try to overturn that.
Yeah, but
oh my.
Oh, hey, we got a boy racer who is making their way around BD Riley's, which is where we're at again.
Yes.
It's like in a yellow. What car is that?
That was a
Corvette.
That was a Corvette.
I was very impressed by him revving there. Were you?
No.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
No. It would have been more impressive if it was a McLaren.
Or a Skoda.
Yeah.
If a sound like that came out of a Skoda, I would have been okay, all right. Yeah, well done.
Or a Geostorm.
Yeah.
A 1990
well
Geostorm.
Done with that, but fuck, I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. That's the thing, I can take. I can't really. But I can take losing if it's deserved, right? Yeah. Like, you can say, okay, yeah, that other team were the better team. They deserve to win. Yeah, okay, I can accept it. I can't accept, like, when the referees just continuously on and on make these ridiculous decisions
they're
that
making
aren't
it
even
them.
not obvious. I mean, they're obviously wrong.
Exactly.
And that is, but yeah, it's early in the season.
Yeah.
I think the players should be proud of themselves. I thought they acquitted themselves really well, and there were some chances. We could easily have won that game in 9 men as well. You know,
well, it should have been up 2-1. Should have been up 2-1.
Another thing I want to bring up, so Nunes didn't start, didn't come on. Thoughts about that?
I didn't think he was, well, when they went down to 9, I don't think there was any need to bring him on. When they were at 10.
He was ready to come on actually at 10, and then I think they changed their minds.
You wonder, like, I understand bringing on Jota after halftime to replace Gakpo, but do you bring on Nunes in the 60th minute and let him, you know, bring his chaos for the next 30?
And that was going to happen before the Jota red card.
The unfortunate red for Jota.
I was surprised that Nunes didn't start at the beginning, honestly, with the way Tottenham set up.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised, like a lot of people, that Nunes didn't start. But
Romero was pretty shockingly bad last weekend, from what I understand. Yeah. He had an own goal and did he get a red card? Forget. They showed some stat during the game. I know he got it. I know he had an own goal in the derby. So yeah, but you know what? You just gotta. You know, you can't let it ruin your weekend. You gotta laugh it off at some point.
Don't know. It's kind of hard with Sunday to recover from this, right?
Yeah, but it started off so well with thank you Luton and thank you Wolves and thank you Crystal Palace. We started our weekend off so well, but. I don't even know the name of that referee, but man, he just snatched it right out, all the joy right out of our hands.
And you're going to see with so many cards being dished out for, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's cards being dished out for spending too much time, like taking a free kick, a goal kick. Yeah. There's a yellow card for if you just miss the ball sliding and contact the player.
Yeah.
There's going to be games where there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to end up with 9 men, 8 men, 7 men. I mean, we're heading in that direction where it's becoming a non-contact sport.
Yeah.
We're basically there, right? Or at least we're borderline and we're about to go over the edge.
Right.
And with the technology in the background monitoring everything, fuck yeah, you slow everything down, you freeze frame stuff. It looks, of course it looks bad, but that's not in the reality of the moment.
The whole thing. You have to play the foot and with the momentum of the ball, and I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing. You know, we can complain about it all we want, but it's not going to change anything. Just have to, you have to forget about it and move on to the next match.
We do move on.
And that's what I hope that Matip does. I hope that that he seems like the type of player that. Something like that he'll shake off in an hour and he'll be like ready to go the next time Jurgen calls upon him.
I'm sure he'll be devastated. I mean, he obviously looked at on the pitch at the end. But
I mean,
we'll move on.
heartbreaking.
We'll take positives, and there are some positives that come from that. But
Spurs should have. I mean, you go down to 9 men in the 66th minute, you should be able to score at least a couple goals after that. But Liverpool played well. They stayed tight and. Like I said, 9-man team, beaten on an own goal in the last minute. All in all, if you look at it at the end, look back on it at the end of the season, it could have been a much worse result. It could have been 4-1, 5-1, and then that affects goal differential. And we all know goal differential is going to come into play at the end of the season, the way this season is going. So,
all right.
Anyway, I hope I made some sense.
You always make sense. What's happening the rest of today? How are you going to improve your Sunday?
I am going to watch my alma mater play some American college football.
Your what?
My alma mater. Alma mater. It means where I went to university.
Alma mater.
Where is this? This is Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas, which is a very beautiful town, about 30 minutes south of Boston. So they are on the road this week, and they are playing Southern Mississippi.
Southern Mississippi.
Yes. And so I'm hoping that they win, because that is not something that they typically do. This season they have 3 wins and 1 loss, and I am not used to it, and it's kind of crazy that they're actually winning football games.
All right.
Not used to it.
Well, we'll wrap it up. I don't know.
Okay.
Make sure you like, subscribe. Have a good one. Cheers.